FPUC is about to come back, but will it be retroactive on our second stimulus package? Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Afternoons LALATE. Hope you are good and safe. Afternoons LALATE is every day at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time, starting with the check, then at 4 with hazard pay, 4:30 FPUC, and finally ending with rent assistance. Big news about FPUC overnight and minutes ago, and I have the details in front of me right now. This channel was the first to report last Friday that a deal for FPUC is imminent and that the Republicans have moved off of their original position. And yesterday we updated the Democrats moved off of theirs as well. FPUC is going to be coming to you at $600 a week is what this channel first reported last Friday, and we're staying with that representation. It was based upon a series of reports detailed last Friday, then confirmed again on Monday. It followed tweets by the president and messages from the president that said he supported $600 a week, but only for 1 week. What happened after early Friday was that the president had dispatched his two individuals who are the only two people in the negotiating room on behalf of the Republicans, Mark Meadows, the president's chief of staff, and Steve Mnuchin, the president's Treasury secretary, and told them to offer to Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer an FPUC offer, which was $600 a week, but for 1 week. This was really quite shocking because what happened was the president had digressed from everything we had heard up to that point, which I'm not going to cover right just yet. What then happened was Nancy and Chuck said, no, we're not doing something for 1 week. Sorry, we are staying with $600. We're never moving off of $600, and we're not doing a deal for 1 week. We already told you we're not doing a deal for 1 week. What happened yesterday is really where it moved the compass. Mitch McConnell, who is not in the negotiating room but is head of the Senate as a majority, said, hey, I'm willing to give in to the $600 a week. And you know what? I just don't see consensus from my Republicans in the Senate, so we have to make concessions, and I will agree to it if that's what the president wants. Later in the day, it got even more clear when the president indicated that he would consider doing an executive order to extend FPUC at $600 a week, which is exactly what this channel had talked about 2 weeks ago, that he could have done it. But he said he won't do it if the parties are close to a negotiation. Minutes later, Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi said they were. And then Nancy Pelosi gave the most telling detail we had seen to date. She moved off of her position and made basically a concession. And she said she would agree to $600 a week continuing and then backing off if unemployment dips and goes down, aka improves. She said we don't need $600 a week indefinitely if unemployment improves, which seemed to be really where the cards fell. What was really the telling issue during this entire negotiations was what were the economic factors. And I had told you this before. I had told you this way before the Republicans had introduced their bill. And I told you we're going to end up at $600. So here we are. What do we see and what's going to happen? This Friday, there's going to be a deal. Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi overnight detailed and confirmed that there will be an agreement on the second stimulus package for purposes of those four individuals, Nancy, Chuck, Mark, and Steve, on Friday, and that they will then introduce to the Senate a revised version of the HEROES Act. I reported this first last night. I detailed as well this morning on Mornings LALATE. Thank you for joining me on that. It was a lot of fun this morning. That introduction of the revised HEROES Act to the Senate would happen either this Friday or this coming Monday. The Senate would then vote upon it and then get it done either on Monday or Tuesday. The president would then have the bill to sign into law either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, most likely Tuesday. So there comes the next question. When do I get my money, LLA? So there's a lot, and I gotta tell you, here's the backstory. So those people don't want to hear backstory. This one really has a backstory, and you gotta understand this because FPUC is computer generated, and computers cause problems. Here's the issue: the minute that FPUC becomes a law and the second stimulus package becomes a law on Tuesday or Wednesday next week, FPUC will be active at $600 a week for however many weeks they agree upon it. The viewers have asked me first, will it be retroactive? I just don't know. I'm not going to say I know because I don't know. It looks logical that it would be retroactive. The president, the Democrats, the Republicans, everyone has said they want you to have your benefits this week, last week. No one says they don't want you to have benefits. So I would say yes. I mean, I have no indication that it's a no. And if I was to bet money on it, I would say absolutely yes. I think it's going to be retroactive. Next, how soon would you get your money? Now, this is the really big issue. And this is why I'm not going anywhere. People are like, are you going anywhere starting as soon as the bill comes along? No, I'm not going anywhere. Because the Hot Mess Express is not even in the train station. It's still going to be on Pennsylvania Avenue because there's going to be a lot of problems. I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be problems. I'm not going to sugarcoat it to you. Here are the problems, and I got to explain them to you. First, let's say it becomes law on Tuesday. Are you going to get your $600 a week on Wednesday? No. Well, are you going to get your $600 a week the next day your state usually pays out benefits? Let's say they pay out benefits on Saturday. Maybe in some states, and in other states, absolutely no. What's going on, LLA? Here's the rub. Some states' computer systems are more modernized. They're actually decent computer systems. And not to brag, I'm not saying one state's better than the other. Of course, there are some states that are better than the other. I'm not saying one state's better than the other. But California is an example of a state that has a more modern computer system. So if it was approved on Tuesday, could your state then send out the benefits? Could California then send out the benefits the next week they send out benefits? Yes. And would they send out multiple benefits for those weeks you missed? Yes. Other states have more antiquated computer systems. We know that not because I'm throwing them shade. I'm not saying that. It's not like a scene between Needy and Sheree talking about who has better teeth. It's talking about it's talking about really what they said themselves. States have said that it took us time to get back in April a line item that says pay $600. It took us a lot of time to get that in there. We had to bring computer programmers in there, independent contractors to modify our computers and our computer programming to get that $600 in there. Now it's out. We had to take it out. Now we got to put it back in. It's not just so simple as just, pushing a buttons back in. So some states won't be technically ready to get that right back in right away. I don't know, but I'm to presume that the bill, when it becomes law, does not create some expedited process for the federal government to send you the $600. They should have done that. I mean, they really should have done that. They should have seen this coming. Ultimately, they're going to do it, I think, the same way they did it before, which is the state gives you the $600 from the federal government, not the federal government sending you the $600. So some states won't be ready to send you the $600 exactly within that week after the bill passes. I guarantee you right now. And you know it's going to happen. Here comes my shade. There's going to be 900,000 broadcast news stories about problems in the state of so-and-so where they can't get their computers to work and people are pissed and they're shouting. And I could just see the story coming. So there we are. What's happening across the board? Well, really what happened was Mitch McConnell said that he couldn't get an agreement upon his Republican colleagues as to what they wanted to do. So he said, we can't keep on doing this. He said there's divisions about what to do about extending unemployment insurance. This is a direct quote from him overnight. And he said, I just can't keep on doing this. You can't agree, my colleagues. So I'm going to agree to $600 or whatever the president wants. I will back it. And it was really quite shocking because, in essence, if you believe him, he's saying, I'm not the one to blame. Of course he is. He's the one who said he wanted $100 a week or no money. But he was now throwing his colleagues under the bus, saying that they're to blame. And then he said, hey, let's just get it done. This comes after other Democrats, whether it's Rubio and Romney, saying you got to get FPUC approved overnight, or the Republican out of Texas late yesterday saying you got to have FPUC approved right away. It has to be $600 a week. What happened was some issues are really derailing the second stimulus package from getting approved, not FPUC. This channel reported last Friday that FPUC was not the reason why the package was not getting approved. It was really other issues, and we now have that confirmation. It was funding for schools, assistance for food, rent and mortgage payments, more about that in the next video, and money for state and local governments, which I've been reporting every single day. That was what was holding up the second stimulus package. It's also PPP money, which the Democrats proposed none of, and the Republicans wanted another round of PPP. It's apparently going to be in there, and I think it should be in there. Jobs, here are the new jobs numbers. Even more indication of why you need FPUC. The labor market recovery slowed in the month of July, says Vice President co-head of ADP Research Institute. We've seen that the slowdown impact businesses across all sizes and sectors. How bad is it? Well, manufacturing added 10,000 new jobs, but construction lost 8,000 jobs last month. Mining and natural resources fell by 1,000. Transportation and utilities lost 41,000 jobs. The news comes before the Labor Department releases its payroll numbers, and Dow estimates a growth of 1.4 million. But as you know, tomorrow's Thursday. And you know what Thursday is? The jobless claims. We're at 20 consecutive weeks of jobless claims over 1 million. It's expected to stay at that next week, which would be clearly the worst since the Great Depression. Finally, this data, which is really quite confusing and really perplexing how anyone would approach it. But as a lot of you sit back and wonder, where is your money, your unemployment benefits? Well, one group who got money to give it to you the first time around and didn't is back asking for more money again. Can you believe it? Who are they? Yeah, you know who I'm about to say. No, it's not the restaurants. It's the airlines. The airlines got 25. The airlines got 20. God, it was billions. I just can't keep track. Got billions in the first stimulus package round. And now they're back and asking for $25 billion in additional funding in the second stimulus package to survive the pandemic. The reason why no one is liking this is that they got the money the first time around to keep people on the job, but laid them off. So here they are back again, who, after continually laying off all their frontline workers, and yet they want more money? Come on. For the reasons we support a clear extension of payroll support for passenger airline employees, including the CARES Act, to avoid furloughs and further supporting the workers, said a leading lawmaker. Guess who it is? Yeah, you guessed right, Mitch McConnell. He never seems to really get anything right. Whether it's airlines who you gave money to the first time to keep jobs, and then they laid the people off, and now they're back for more money, and then you're like, okay, let's give them more money. The man seems to never understand anything about jobs and employees, and seems to just want to throw money at businesses left and right. Ultimately, the really surprising news is that $600 was a strong position of Nancy and Chuck. They said they weren't going to move, and allegedly they never moved. They held their own. Economists supported $600 a week. And ultimately, the great news is that come next week, we will have a law. And the law will provide you an extension of unemployment benefits. The question is how soon you'll start getting those weeks which you've lost, and how soon you'll start getting new weeks going forward. Ultimately, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to stay. If you don't realize, the very first day this channel launched, April 25th, I did PUA. No one was really doing PUA videos at the time. No one even knew what PUA was. It hadn't launched. It launched on April 28th, I think, in California. So I was doing videos before the thing launched. Ironically, I got, thousands, tens of thousands of viewers through the system and they got approved and all that. But I had a lot of viewers that had a lot of problems. I'm not going to forget them and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Eileen out of Florida, she was with me for months and kept on certifying for benefits because Florida was behind, was not paying her benefits. Not because they didn't want to, their computer systems were behind. That's what's important for next week. Finally, she kept faith. She stayed with me. And one morning she woke up, $8,000 in her account. Adam, my truck driver, same story. $7,000 in his account. Because what had happened was it was base level benefits of $150 or something plus $600 on top of that times 10 weeks, 11 weeks, 12 weeks. You do the math. It's $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. It's a lot of money. What's important to remember is that you never give up when you're doing unemployment benefits. You never forget or lose faith. Their systems are antiquated. They're slow. But ultimately, you'll get your money. Stay informed, stay educated, stay motivated. Coming up next is rent assistance with a big twist. I don't know if I like this twist. As always, stay with LA for more.